Hello, fellow entrepreneurs. Welcome to my channel where I read and summarize books relating to being a better entrepreneur. I met no one who I thought was wise who didn't read. I believe reading is essential for those who seek to rise above the ordinary. So today, we'll be learning from Tony Robbins' book, Awaken the Giant Within. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Do you want to make a change in your life but find it difficult to stick to your plans? Do you ever get the feeling that the deck is stacked against you as you go through life? From the Awaken the Giant Within book, we'll discover how crucial decisions and beliefs are in bringing about positive change and becoming the person you want to be. Motivational speaker Anthony Robbins demonstrates the power that each of us have over our perception of the world and therefore over our happiness. This video is broken up into 8 parts. Part 1. Focus on making and sticking to the right decisions to change your life. Part 2. Change your beliefs to change who you are. Part 3. Changing your vocabulary can help you change your mind and emotions. Part 4. Ask the right questions to find the best solution to any problem. Part 5. Find out what your personal values are to see if you're living up to your full potential. Part 6. Make a list of life rules that make you happy and share them with others. Part 7. You can gain control over your emotions by understanding what causes them. Part 8. Contribute to society to find out what you're capable of as a person. Part 1. Focus on making and sticking to the right decisions to change your life. When was the last time you considered making a significant change in your life? Maybe it was New Year's Eve and you made a resolution to stop smoking. Perhaps you wanted to lose weight and considered starting a new diet. Did you succeed in making those changes in your life? If you didn't, the issue was most likely with the way you expressed your desire to change. I'd like to stop eating junk food rather than, I'll start eating more healthily. To make any changes in your life, you must first make a firm decision. Then, no matter what obstacles arise, you must stick to your decision. As a result, you must be willing to change your strategy as you encounter challenges. For example, Soichiro Honda, the Honda Corporation's founder, he decided as a child that he wanted to make efficient piston rings for automobiles. Although history shows that he achieved his goal, he encountered numerous problems along the way that could have slowed him down. During World War II, for example, the Japanese government refused to provide Honda with the concrete he required to construct the factories that would manufacture his product. How did he get past that stumbling block? Honda's solution was to invent his own method of producing concrete, allowing him to begin constructing his empire. While making major decisions can be difficult at first, the more you do it, the easier it becomes. So don't get discouraged if you fail miserably at making a change in your life. Instead, consider what you might be able to learn from the setback. Smokers, for example, rarely succeed in quitting on their first try. They can achieve their goal if they use their failure to reflect on the obstacles to quitting. For example, the temptation to smoke is too strong around other smokers, and how they might overcome them in the future, which would be to stay away from places where smokers stay. Make new habits by associating bad habits with pain and good habits with pleasure. We've learned that in order to achieve our objectives and effect change, we must fully commit to our decisions. However, even when we have the best of intentions, changing our habits can be extremely difficult. Why? Because we do everything in the hopes of obtaining pleasure or avoiding pain. You can begin to take advantage of this dynamic once you become aware of it. As a result, if you want to break a habit, associating that behavior with pain is a good way to start. Let's pretend you don't want to eat chocolate anymore. Connecting eating chocolate to mental anguish is one way to achieve that goal. For example, you could make it a rule that whenever you eat chocolate, you must sing a song that you hate. Soon, the act of eating chocolate will be linked to the uneasy feeling you're experiencing while singing that song. But keep in mind that you must commit to your decision, so you'll have to sing out loud even if you're at a dinner party eating chocolate cake. However, finding a new, more desirable habit that gives you the same amount of pleasure as the old one is critical if you want to change your behavior in the long run. To successfully eliminate chocolate from your diet, you must develop a new habit that you will enjoy just as much as eating that Snickers bar. This could be a more nutritious treat, such as your favorite fruit, or an activity, such as learning a new sport. You'll also benefit from visualizing the wonderful things that await you once you've broken the habit. You'll soon be able to fit back into your old jeans if you give up chocolate, for example. This method has a track record of helping people break even the most difficult habits. Researchers looked at the rehabilitation of drug addicts in one study on the effectiveness of replacing unhealthy behaviors with healthier ones. They discovered that addicts who found a new, healthier habit that provided them with the same level of pleasure, such as starting a new relationship or taking up a hobby, were much less likely to relapse. Part 2. Change your beliefs to change who you are. Consider 2 people who are both 60 years old. Now that his prime years have passed, one of them may believe his life is coming to an end. The other, on the other hand, might be ecstatic about everything that is still in store for her. What could explain such a stark contrast in outlook? Our beliefs influence how we perceive the world and ourselves. But exactly what is a belief? A belief is a thought that is backed up by evidence. You might believe, for example, that you're a fantastic chess player. However, that idea will only become a belief if it is backed up by evidence, such as winning the majority of the time. Any event in our lives can serve as a point of reference and inform our beliefs for the majority of us. Unfortunately, this means that whenever something terrible happens, such as the death of a loved one, many people use it to reinforce their belief that life is a nightmare. But we don't have to think like that. If we can interpret the reference in a more positive light, we can live a more optimistic life. As a result, if you're grieving, you can use the experience to help you grow as a person. Perhaps you'll emerge from your grief with a strong desire to assist others who are grieving. To make a change in your life, you must first change your beliefs. But the problem is that many of us already have strong beliefs that prevent us from making any changes. All habits, including habitual beliefs, can be broken. To change an existing belief, you must associate pain with the old one and pleasure with the new one, just as you would with any other habit. Finding a role model who has already succeeded in changing her beliefs and adapting her method to your own needs is a simple way to accomplish this. Part 3. Changing your vocabulary can help you change your mind and emotions. Did you know that there are approximately 3,000 words in the English language that describe emotions? Negative emotions, on the other hand, have nearly twice as many words as positive emotions, which could explain why many people experience negative emotions more frequently. As a result, it's critical to pay attention to the words you use in your daily life because they will shape your thinking and perception. To think about a situation differently, you must first describe it differently. Consider the following scenario. You're on a road trip and your car breaks down in the middle of nowhere. You could allow yourself to become enraged in this situation and complain about how annoying it is and how angry you are. You could also say something along the lines of, "That's inconvenient." Using more neutral words to describe what we normally experience as a frustrating situation can help you avoid a more negative emotional state. This illustration exemplifies what Tony Robbins refers to as transformational vocabulary. The words we use to describe our experience of the world actually define it. So, how can you improve your vocabulary in order to better manage your emotions? The key is to use powerful words to express positive emotions and less powerful words to express negative emotions. For example, instead of saying you're happy, you could say you're totally blessed. Alternatively, if you're on the verge of experiencing intense negative emotions, use words and phrases that are less intense, such as, "I'm a little concerned," rather than, "I'm extremely anxious." Finally, when expressing negative emotions, try to use unusual words. This will most likely amuse you and instantly lift your mood, as well as delight those around you. When you're irritated, for example, you could say, "I must say, I'm quite peeved." This uncommon word has a genteel, old-fashioned quality to it that can instantly lift your spirits. Part 4. Ask the right questions to find the best solutions to any problem. As you've learned, changing your life necessitates changing your mindset. Now let's dive into the question of what thinking is in the first place. Our thoughts are essentially a series of questions and answers. As a result, the questions we ask shape our thinking, making them crucial to our life experience. As a result, the quality of our questions has a significant influence on the quality of our lives. The quality of each question you ask will determine the focus of your thoughts. If you ask a negative question, you will receive a negative response. If you ask a positive question, you will receive a positive response. If you find yourself in an unpleasant situation on a regular basis, for example, asking yourself, "Why does this always happen to me?" will immediately direct your attention to your life's failures. What's the end result? Your mood will deteriorate, and your life will be shaped by this negativity. As a result, it's critical that you ask yourself the right questions whenever you're confronted with a problem. It's a lot easier to say than it is to do. In difficult situations, we often feel overwhelmed, so we ask the wrong questions, such as, "Why me?" and then become discouraged by the answers. The solution is to prepare a list of questions ahead of time. Make it a habit to ask questions like, "What are the positive aspects of this situation?" and "What can I do to enjoy the process of solving this problem?" In the midst of a problem, asking such questions will lift your spirits and enable you to come up with a viable solution, or at the very least, cope better with the consequences. If you truly want to cultivate a positive outlook on life, you could take this a step further and ask yourself questions that empower you every morning. You could, for example, inquire, "What's great about my life?" or "What are my proudest achievements?" By putting yourself in a good mood first thing in the morning, you'll find it easier to maintain that positive state throughout the day, resulting in a better, more successful life. Part 5. Find out what your personal values are to see if you're living up to your full potential. Are you able to say with certainty what you consider to be the most important aspect of your life? If you're not sure, find out, because the most successful and happy people are those who understand their own values and live their lives in accordance with them. So if you don't feel fulfilled in your life and aren't sure why, it's possible that you're not living according to your beliefs. Assume you've been offered a fantastic new job in a different country. Accepting that offer will require uprooting your life and relocating your family thousands of miles away. Would you be willing to go? If you can't make up your mind, it's because you're unsure of your values. To make a decision that will bring you happiness in this case, you must first determine whether personal growth is more important to you than financial security. Make time to reflect on and prioritize your most important values, as well as to explain why those values are important to you. While compiling this list, you may notice that some of your current values are incompatible with achieving your objectives. Perhaps your greatest value in life is passion. You want to put your heart and soul into everything you do. However, as you consider how your values and goals are aligned, you may discover that approaching everything with passion has a negative impact on your health. This is an inappropriate value because you won't be able to approach anything with enthusiasm if you're sick. Changing your values is the solution. You might decide that your health will take precedence over your passion from now on. You'll be able to be passionate without the drawbacks if you prioritize your health. Part 6. Make a list of life rules that make you happy and share them with others. We all have rules that we follow in our daily lives. These rules, such as, "I'll be happy once I get to eat that Snickers," play a significant role in determining our actions and feelings because they determine what will and will not make us happy. Such rules, on the other hand, can limit our experience and, as a result, our chances of achieving true happiness. Consider yourself for a moment. What do you require in order to be happy? Is it necessary for you to win the lottery? Do you want your friends to think highly of you? While you are correct that such things will bring you happiness, you have no control over them. As a result, it's critical to set up life rules that you can control. Instead of the rule that says, "I'll feel great only if someone compliments my work," try a rule that says, "I'll feel great only if I achieve my personal goals." Because many of our rules are based on other people's actions, we're likely to become frustrated or angry when they don't follow our rules. In fact, if you're angry with someone, it's because they're breaking your rules unconsciously. However, you cannot expect your personal rules to be identical to those of others. So if you want to live a happy life, you must communicate your rules and make sure that others understand what is important to you. Let's pretend that someone you consider to be your best friend never calls you. You believe she is no longer your friend because you believe close friends should call each other on a regular basis. She may have a different perspective on friendship, believing that it is more about being there for each other in times of need rather than calling each other every week. However, by communicating your friendship rules, your friend will understand why you are upset with her, and the two of you will be able to build a stronger foundation for your relationship. Part 7. You can gain control over your emotions by understanding what causes them. We've seen that by loosening up on your own rules, you can choose what makes you happy. But it's not just happiness that you can master. You can choose from a wide range of emotions. However, in order to regain control, we must first recognize our true emotions. Negative emotions can easily overwhelm us, usually because we generalize them or fail to recognize them correctly. For example, you may be angry about something, but if you consider the true cause of your emotional pain, you may discover that the anger is motivated by something else, such as exhaustion. Once you've determined the source of your exhaustion, you can use transformational vocabulary, altering your emotions by changing how you describe them. To express your exhaustion by saying, "I'm feeling a little droopy," this will help you overcome any negative emotions you may be experiencing. It's also crucial to avoid seeing your more difficult emotions in a negative light. All emotions can assist you in making positive changes in your life because they indicate that something isn't quite right, prompting you to investigate them to determine the true cause of your problems. Only by identifying the root of the problem can you begin to make changes. However, comprehending the origins of a particular emotion is only the first step. The next step is a more difficult one. You must act to deal with the emotion and change whatever is causing it. So, if you've successfully identified loneliness as the source of your unhappy emotion, you can start looking for reasons why you're lonely. It's possible, for example, that you haven't contacted any of your friends in a while. If this is the case, the solution is simple: act and contact them. However, there will be times when you feel unable to cope with a particular emotion. When this happens, try to remember a time when you dealt with it successfully. This will give you confidence in your ability to deal with difficult emotions, because if you've dealt with them before, you'll be able to do it again. Part 8. Contribute to society to find out what you're capable of as a person. We discussed how to take control of your life, achieve success, and find happiness in previous parts. However, you might be thinking right now that no matter how much change you can make in your own life, you'll never be able to change anything in society. Thankfully, this isn't the case. Even the tiniest decisions you make in your personal life can have a significant social impact. While most people believe they aren't powerful enough to affect such widespread change and thus don't try, the truth is that the same decisions that lead to personal transformation also lead to societal transformation. Consider what may appear to be a seemingly insignificant life decision: what to eat for dinner. Let's say you've decided to eliminate beef from your diet for health reasons. Although it may appear that this change will only benefit you, the fact is that eliminating beef from your diet could have a much larger impact. For example, growing 250 pounds of beef requires the same amount of land as growing 40,000 pounds of potatoes. To put it another way, we can make better use of the land we currently use to raise cattle, reducing the problem of widespread hunger. Your decision to eliminate beef contributes to a decrease in demand for that product, allowing that land to be used for more productive purposes. There's another way to make a difference in the world. You could start assisting others with their emotions now that you've learned how to control and reflect on your own. Imagine you're in the grocery store and you notice a sad-looking fellow shopper. You could pay him a genuine compliment instead of minding your own business. Perhaps you could express your admiration for his decision to purchase free-range eggs. And maybe if you go around the world smiling at the people you meet, you'll be able to lift their spirits, which they can then pass on to others. This wraps up the summary from the book, Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. Thank you for sticking out through the very end of this video. Nothing helps out my channel more than y'all watching the entire video. These videos take a long time to make, and is a labor of love. If you would like to contribute by buying me a cup of coffee, I'll leave the link below along with the link to this book. And as always, if you liked this video, please like and subscribe and watch these videos that might pique your interest. I'll see you on the next one. Until then, keep reading.